All right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome. Peace and blessings to the family, to the Pom Pom Lifestyle Movement family. Welcome to another episode of Family Finance Friday with the DJ, the Money Coach team. And the show is brought to you by the DJ, the Money Coach team, and the Seven Spheres of Money Systems. And before we get started and hop on our virtual plane and go to tonight's beach, go ahead and hit that like button, share this video with at least 5 people. And if you have not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button right here on the DJ the Money Coach YouTube channel so you can help us spread the word, spread the message, spread the good news of the Pom Pom Lifestyle Movement. And if you're new here and you're not familiar with the Pom Pom Lifestyle Movement, or if you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about, the Pom Pom Lifestyle Movement is plenty of money and peace of mind. And each and every day, not just Friday nights, but each and every day, 365, we invite you to come join us on the beaches of the World Club. And our beach has always been and will continue to be Zanzibar, but your beach can be wherever you find your mental tranquility. And yeah, that's the beaches of the World Club. Again, welcome to another episode of Family Finance Friday. Right now, I'm joined by the president of Zanzibar, aka the young protege, Tajir Green. DJ will be joining us momentarily, just a few moments. But we're going to start this off with me and El Presidente, like DJ the Money Coach calls him. So what's going on, Ty? How you feeling tonight?
What's going on, Nick? I'm feeling amazing. Today is a good day because every day at Grove Ground is a great day and we're doing great work. So really, I'm blessed and I'm thankful. How are you feeling today, Nick?
Man, same here. Bit fatigued with everything that's going on. Uh, Putting in the work, having a lot of opportunities coming up very quickly. So definitely, definitely tired. I had to muster up the energy to to get up here, but it's a good tired. It's a good tired. A lot of great things happening, and this is a cycle. We're always putting in the work, but this is a time in the cycle that doubling down, even more. Back to school, we're in the energy of going, heading into the fall season. Summertime is just about over. We know summer officially ends next week, but we're getting back into that mode of of fall and being back to school, and the weather's starting to cool down. So yeah, that means it's time to double down on that discipline and hard work, and you know end out these last couple of months of 2024 on a strong note. So yeah, man, feeling good, feeling great. We got a very important topic tonight. It's called, the title of the show is called "How to Be Totally Autonomous Despite Who's President." So man, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it. Got this title from you. So why don't you talk to the people and give them the backdrop, give them the preface of what this topic is about, why it's relevant, why it's important to discuss it at this time. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Yes, sir. I got you. So you guys already know the other day they had, I believe, the first set of the presidential debates live held in Philadelphia, right? So this has been buzzed all over the internet. Everyone's talking about it. And I really see everybody, going crazy on either side about how much they would be devastated if their favorite candidate didn't win, and them trying to figure out and understand things. And we wanted to talk about this because, it is important who's president, of course, but The important thing is your life does not have to be drastically affected or changed by who's president, right? You can have your feelings, you entitled to those, but your actual real life doesn't have to change too much if you get it set up strategically and have it operating the right way. Because if you do, then none of that stuff really matters. So tonight, this is what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to kick the conversation off, and DJ is going to join in. But the first thing that I want to talk about is the first item to be able to put your life autonomously on autopilot to success, despite who is in the White House, is focusing on your skill set, right? Because that's the biggest thing. A lot of people are upset when they hear about job cuts and things of the sort because they have income insecurity because they don't have a defined skill set that they've made their main idea to go out and make money. They kind of do odd jobs here and there, get into whatever industries are available at the moment, and there's not a lot of consistency in their income, so they're pretty much always looking for their next check. That's why you have so many hyphens. I'm a painter, I'm a art dealer, I'm a part-time construction person, I'm a website maker on the side. Oh, I actually do taxes during tax season, all of that stuff. And it sounds funny, right? People say it, oh, you always got your hustle going on, you always got to hustle. But really, that is a bit counterintuitive to what you're really trying to do. You need to find something that you love to do or you like to do, and you can be really great at and be consistent about it. So you can always plan out your income, and you'll always be able to set yourself up correctly to be able to have consistent income coming in. So you don't have to worry about if the president is going to come in and put in new laws that are going to sweep your, unfortunately, oftentimes lower wage or non-essential jobs out of the way. So what do I mean? So let me give you guys my example. So when I was in college, my first year of college, of course, like any other college student, I did not know what I wanted to do when I grew up, right? But I did know what I liked. So I took some time and I figured out, okay, what are the things that I like? What are the things that I can be good at? And then I can make a consistent income in. And lo and behold, it became finance. So what did I do? I changed my major from, I think it was marketing at the time, to accounting when I was in college. And I went ahead and started buying finance books and understanding financial literacy and corporate finance at a high level before I even did any substantial work, because I made a choice to myself, okay, this is going to be my calling card. It's going to be my claim to fame. I'm going to be the finance guy. I'm going to know all of this stuff. So let me get into this and make this my field. So I already know. And why did I choose it? No brainer. Number one, as Black Americans in the United States, it was imperative for me to understand money and to be able to be in control of my future, seeing as we haven't had those opportunities and those choices were always made on our behalf, or we were somebody else's wealth. So being that, I said, hey man, I need to make sure that I understand finances at the highest level just for the sake of the historical precedent. And then it became, all right, well, if I know it, I can do it and I can make a living out of it. So once I understood those two things, and the fact that we live in a capitalistic country, which means show me the money is the foundation of every conversation and everything that's happening, every township, everything. I know y'all saw that new movie. What is it? Rebel Bridge. And I'm only halfway through it on Netflix. But what is the key component? These towns doing ridiculous things, accosting citizens and whatnot. Why? Because they need money and they need to transfer people through their prison systems and different setups to be able to get money and be able to seize what they perceive is stolen assets, right? So I'm saying that to say this is what's happening on town level. So that means everybody's looking for money, and we are in a recession every time. So everybody's looking for money, everybody's looking for cash flow. So me being a financial expert is a no-brainer that, hey, I'm always going to be able to tap in and make money and actually add value, whether that's to an organization in an employment role or whether that's on my own in business. So that's why I decided to get into finance, and that's why I did that. But your thing is going to be your thing, right? You might like nursing. You might be like Mr. Westbrook and decide, hey, I'm going to be a teacher because I know I can move anywhere in the United States. If there's anywhere that needs to be taught, kids, adults, I know the setup. I could change the classes that I want to teach. Matter of fact, Nick, on skill sets,
Yeah.
talk to the people about what made you decide that you wanted to be a teacher and what was important about that to you and why you chose that to be your profession.
Yeah, sure, sure. So my my background, my initial pathway wasn't originally education. It was originally communication, specifically broadcast journalism. That's what I attended undergraduate school for. So I got my degree in journalism, concentration in broadcast news. So my original path was to be, either a newscaster, news reporter, producer behind the scenes, editor, but something in that within that realm. But after getting the hands-on experience, the real world hands-on experience through internships, I found that it wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it would be. I always tell this funny story, and this is directly related to this topic. Talking about how the mainstream news reports and depicts politics and politicians and public officials. I remember it was the summer after my sophomore year in college. I attended Howard University in Washington, D.C. So I'm in Washington, D.C., interning at ABC News, the Washington Bureau. So we're talking about the network ABC News, not the local, like your ABC 7, your ABC. Well, I think most of them are 7. Not like your local ABC affiliate, but the network ABC News. And my primary internship location of duty was at the assignment desk. But since there wasn't a lot to do at the assignment desk, they allowed me to go out to different locations around the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, shadowing digital reporters, correspondents, et cetera, et cetera. So I went out, I went out to the White House. I went out to Capitol Hill a couple of times. Went out to the Pentagon. Went out to the National Mall. But on one of my visits to the Capitol, I was shadowing a digital journalist who covered, the Hill. I can't remember if it was the House of Representatives or the Senate, but he covered the Hill, and this was at the height. And Tajir, you probably remember this, being from New York, but this was in around like 2011 or 2012 at the height of the Anthony Weiner scandal, if you remember that one. So this is the height of the Anthony Weiner scandal, so I was there all day. I was on the Hill. I think I got there around 9 o'clock when the workday started, and I was there until about 4 p.m. And aside from taking maybe an hour for lunch and taking time to write up an article for the digital site, we spent the whole day running around Capitol Hill, running to the house gym, running to this part of Capitol Hill, this part, looking for a scoop on Anthony Weiner. That was our mission for the day. We spent the whole day looking for a scoop on Anthony Weiner. This guy that he was taking shirtless pics and sending them to, some woman that wasn't his wife. And we spent the whole day doing that when I'm sure there were a bunch of other way more important things going on Capitol Hill. We spent the day, trying to find a scoop, trying to find this guy, that sent some pictures to some woman. And I'm like, you can't tell me this is what this industry is about. We got all, they're passing bills on the daily, and we're up here, trying to find this, running to the house gym to see if he's in there working out.
Right,
they
glorified gossip.
You have like a weight room there, so we get running around trying to find some gossip. I'm like, if this is what this field is really about, then I don't think this is for me. And I also had an idea, because we talk about entrepreneurship. I did also have the idea of starting my own outlet publication. I did take an entrepreneurship class as and it wasn't even a part of my degree program. It was just an extra class that I picked up, and I had an idea to start up a publication, my own publication, but I knew that, and then this is going into my final years, my final bit of classes, my final semesters in undergrad. So I knew starting something up takes time. You're not going to immediately make money and pay yourself. Uh, so it takes some time to build up, and I didn't want to be sitting at home, sitting on the couch, waiting for a job, or taking time to build up my own business. I wanted to graduate and hit the ground running. So at the time that all of this is going on, I'm going into my senior year, taking my final journalism classes, my capstone classes. I'm also taking classes towards my minor, which was totally unrelated to journalism. Originally, my minor was political science, because since I was going into broadcast news, I thought, let me pick something that's related to broadcast news. And since there's a lot of politics in news, let me major in something related to it. But then my academic advisor told us, pick something that you're interested in. I'm like, yeah, I have some interest in politics, but it's not something that I love. It's just kind of something that I have to know about since I'm going into journalism. So let me change it to something that I'm actually interested in. So I changed it to African American Studies. That was my minor, or Africana Studies. And one of the classes that I took in that minor was a class called Education in Black America. And it was a class that had some historical context to it. So we explored topics such as education for Black people on the heels of Reconstruction. That's when formal education pretty much started. So it covered topics such as education for Black people at the end of slavery, going into Reconstruction, and it also covered contemporary topics such as issues that are going on in the education system. And I was really into the class, and I really noticed the disparity and the lack of teachers that look like me in the field. So that was one of the signs that maybe I should explore education as a career. Another sign that I took as a calling was I was recruited. I was recruited by the Teach for America program. It's a popular teacher program, or alternative route teacher program, in which you apply for this program, and if you get accepted, they place you in an urban area somewhere in the United States, and you commit to 2 years of teaching in that city, in that urban area. So I applied for that program. Well, actually, let me backtrack. Before I applied to that program, I met with the HBCU recruiter. She was doing her tour of the HBCUs, recruiting students who met the GPA requirement. She sent me an email. I met with her somewhere on campus, and she told me about the program, and let me know about the need and the necessity for Black teachers, especially in the urban area, because the majority of the students reflect us. They look like us. So I'm like, that's a good point. They do, Black children do need Black teachers, or at least they, according to the research, they perform better when they have teachers that reflect them and reflect their experiences. So I say, what? I think I'm going to apply for this Teach for America program. So I applied for the program. I went through the entire process. It's a long ass process. Online application, essay questions, phone interview, requesting your transcripts, uploading your transcripts, all day in person interview, group interview, demo lesson, the whole nine. I got all the way to the last step, the last stage of the in person interview. Went through the all day in person event just to get rejected, not to get into the program. But the good thing was when I did my initial application, I checked off an option to receive information and opportunities about similar programs, similar education programs. So as soon as I got that rejection email, that's when all of the opportunities started coming in around from around the country too. Different programs, different education programs from around the country. I wanted to find something that wasn't too far from home. If it was back in New Jersey or in that DMV area, I was looking for opportunities there. I found two opportunities, one in the Baltimore area and then one in Newark, New Jersey, which was not the same city that I grew up in New Jersey, but it was about 40 minutes north of where I'm from. So I just went with the opportunity that came up first, which was the Urban Education Fellowship in Newark, New Jersey. So I did that. This was back in 2013. I went through this program, went into a fellowship program where I was able to get my teaching certificate through New York University completely for free. The trade-off was that I worked at this charter school, this middle school, while I was taking classes towards that. And then upon completing that program, I could continue to get my master's at a 45% discount. So I took that option, got my master's at a 45% discount, practically for free. I paid a measly 10 grand out of pocket and had everything else covered. Master's degree from NYU, only paying 10 grand out of pocket, not having had to take out any loans like I did for undergrad. And that was back in 2013. I'm still in the city of Newark 10 years later, 10 years and some change later. So that was the long backstory, but the short to the long is that I went into the education field after not being fulfilled in the broadcast news industry and going into education as a calling. The calling being taking that class education in Black America in undergrad and being recruited for the Teach for America program. So to make a long story short.
Hey, the journey to where we at today. I love it because it really shows for everybody that's watching, right? And everything isn't linear. You may not have found your thing yet. It may not happen tomorrow, and it may not even be an easy process, but you're going to find your thing, but you have to commit to it. Because again, when you keep doing odd jobs, this week you work at Target, this time you here, then you a part-time mechanic, that's not sustainable, right? You're going to drive yourself crazy trying to just do a million things just to try to get a buck coming in. It's important to have a main idea and concept of how you go about making money and something that's sustainable, meaning you like it and you could be damn good at it, because otherwise you're just going to be spinning in a hamster wheel trying to figure out when is the next relief coming, i.e. lottery, sweepstakes, things like that. Or you're just super into entertainment because you're looking for some kind of escape because your current set of circumstances you're not happy with. So yeah, when you see the presidential debate and they say something that triggers you, you're going to lose your mind because you're like, damn, man, I was already on this much. I had this much tolerance left because of the things that was going on. So when they said this one thing, my whole life started to unravel in front of me. So it's important that you get that skill set piece ironed out. So, and you need to pick it based off of what can make you a livable wage. And I said livable right? I didn't say get rich because the whole thing now is everybody wants to make $1 million, and that's great. If you really want to make it $1 million, you should go ahead and do that, and you should strive for it. But if you know that that's not something that you're willing to put the work in to do, don't stress yourself out trying to do that. You need to do something that you can make a livable wage with, a livable income. You can support yourself, buy some assets strategically every year, and set yourself up to live a passive lifestyle in terms of income. That's what you need to be working on. Everybody's chasing these $1 million dreams, but you're going to chase yourself into an early grave trying to keep up with a dream that was never yours in the first place. So, yeah, that's number one. Have the skill set right and ready to go. Number two, and this is the important part that most of us miss. So we don't really learn until we have a shocking event, or we just get older and feel like, we haven't had the kind of success that we like to see. You have to have a plan, a main idea, a personal plan for yourself, and really your family too. We all know everyone's family stories are different depending on how close you are with your family and whatnot. But you need to have a main idea. And what does that mean? That means, who are you? Who do you want to be? What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? What kind of places do you want to live in? And what kind of options do you want to have? And what do you want your name to be synonymous with? Right? And I know this sounds like, oh, of course, but no, this is the thing that sets most people apart. If you ask most people walking down the street, what are they doing? What are they looking to do? Hey, I'm taking it day by day. Oh, I'm taking where life takes me. I'm just doing what I can, and I'm following God, respectfully. I understand that, but it's important for you to have a main idea of what you're trying to do. So, okay, I am, in this case, let me be Nick. I am an educator. I am being an educator in the city of Newark, and I'm making sure I make, important contributions in the education field and being a teacher. And through this process, I am systematically buying myself assets every year. So as I continue to teach and I make more money and I have my retirement set up for me, I have passive assets that bring in cash flow so that I'm always relaxed. So I can take my summers off and vacation and I could do some after school programs. I could commit to some other things and I can get into some other things in the stages of my life, maybe start a nonprofit or maybe start that company I wanted to start, or maybe, get back into my journalism and media dreams and create my own live show on a real tip, right? But see, you have a main idea, you have a concept. When I was in college, I said, okay, I am going to know finance like the back of my hand. I am going to found and own companies. I am going to be a high end investor and I'm going to have passive cash flow and I'm going to employ the people that look like us and put our community on and be a substantial contributor to Black business and creating our economy. And I am going to dedicate my life to that and show the next upcoming generations and give them the tools and access that I wish that I had. Right? So, i.e., main idea. Why? Because when you have a choice, right? When you say, all right, I could go and I could take this vacation where I'm gonna turn up, I'm gonna have an act of fool, but when I come back home, my life is gonna be the same. I can spend all of this money. I can go out and party. I can go out and make irresponsible decisions. You're gonna think twice and say, nah, I have a mission. So if this doesn't align, I need to find a way to make it align, or I just need not need to do it at all. And that'll be your constant internal compass keeping you on the right direction and keeping your North Star in front of you. But without something like that, for yourself, first and foremost, and your family too, I'm about to get into the family. You are going to be open to do whatever, and you can just ask yourself, when you don't have a personal plan, and we've all been this, Nick, I know when you haven't had the plan and main idea for yourself, you was doing whatever. Somebody like, hey, you want to go to Cancun tomorrow? Shit, I'm not doing anything else. Oh, it's 2000. Oh, well, oh, you want to go to this party? You want to go to Philly, even though you have no reason to go to, sure, why not? Then you find yourself, damn, I done did all of this stuff, and I might have had a great time, but I've spent a lot of money, and I'm still nowhere near reaching my goals of being successful. So what am I really doing? And that's what's happening to most people right now. So you need to have a main idea, because even if you have a skill set, right, that you pick and you choose without a main idea, what you're going to do is you're going to work all day. You're going to probably be annoyed and tired. So when you go home at nights and when you go out on the weekends, you're going to be looking for an escape. You're going to be spending a lot of money at bars, on alcohol, flying back and forth on shows, on trips, and you're going to be living a constant life cycle. Oh man, I need to do some overtime. because I got to pay off my credit card because I went to Vegas, I went to New Orleans, and I went to Houston. I mean, I had fun, but I still don't have anything, and my cost of living has gone up. My rent is higher. I wanted to get a mortgage, but now I don't apply anymore because the home prices have gone up to where I want to live because you didn't have a main idea. You had a skill set, but you didn't have a main idea that kept you grounded. So we're going to get the main idea and the family part because we know what's going on in the schools with the craziness, with the violence, the shootings, and the overall perception and persona of the students nowadays and the kids where everybody's complaining about the children, whether they're unengaged, whether they're out of control or whatever the case is. But this is because there's not a family plan. At me, oh, okay, I have a son, I have a daughter. All right, I know that they like to draw, or I know that they're really interested in making things with their hands. Let me, as they're going through school, let me get them some books on some engineering or construction. Let me get them some books on, people that were great at doing whatever thing that they're interested in. To start shaping and guiding their minds and putting the tools and resources in front of them for them to first of all be able to have something to work towards, and second of all, be able to have a role to play so they have something to do. We have our youth program here, when I'm with the students, this is one of the main things I work on with them, having them create a plan for themselves and having something in their head, because this is something that most parents aren't doing. They have the kids, they go to school, they get good grades or decent grades, and they don't act the fool. So the parents really don't do too much after that. Oh, okay, he or she gets good grades, they come home, we laugh, we have our talks with family during family vacation, and that's it. But no, you need to have an actual family plan, because what's going to happen is inevitably they're going to get older, they're going to have to get married, make money, do lots of things in life, and without having a strategic set for them and a role for them, they're going to have to figure it out any way they can, i.e. I'm going to go out and get $75,000 in student debt. I'm going to get into relationships that I really don't need to be in. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes because I'm just figuring out as I go, and I don't really have a role that was given to me, or that helped me start to perceive myself in terms of things and stick to things, right? So you have to have a family plan. Okay, I'm working for this. I have these children. I want to build this legacy for them. I want to leave them this, and I want to give them the skill sets. So whatever that they are in particular interest in, whether you want them to work in your family business or profession, or you just want to support them in whatever they do, they have the actual fortitude and planned and mindset to get said thing done. But without a plan, everybody's moving willy-nilly, and that's what sets apart the the um the Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers, the what's the guy's name? The Buffetts, the Lewises, i.e. Reginald F. Lewis's, the Fullers, the Churches, the Walkers. That's what separates them from the rest of us, because they had family plans. So they're not really worried about who the president is for the most part, because they know that they're going to continue their money and their legacy regardless, because they have a plan. Okay. So, i.e., make sure you got a plan. All right. And so, with that being said, Nick, let's do a quick intermission.
Okay.
Show them some videos of what we have going on right now. And then we're gonna come back at you guys with the other key pieces on how you remain autonomous despite who the chief of state is.
It's official. We're in business, guys. All right. Here's what we do it at, baby. Cooperative economics. What's happening, everybody? This is DJ the Money Coach coming to you live January 17th, 2024. And history has already been recorded. That's right. We just opened up a 220-unit luxury residential resort in Zanzibar. We also are completing 4 luxury townhouses in Zanzibar. And we're also going to open up the Pom Pom Lifestyle Resort in Zanzibar. It's Africans for Africans, supported by Black Americans unapologetically. So what time is it? The Pom Pom Lifestyle Movement can't be stopped. Hit the link. Join us on the Beaches World in Zanzibar. Home is ours. Peace.
All right. Welcome back. Family Finance Friday. How to be totally autonomous despite who's president. Nick Westbrooks and Tajir Green in the building. Tajir already gave you a couple of gems gave you the first gem on how to be autonomous. And, he hit on some key points. Couple things came to mind when he was talking about that main idea. And main idea, which is funny because that's an English teacher term there, main idea. But main idea is touching on being focused, being centered, being grounded, having a purpose in mind and being intentional. So you could be, you could have a career, have a job, you might be going through the motions of that career. I wasn't that really resonated with me. I won't say I was going through the motions when I first got into my education career, but I wasn't really focused outside of that. Like I was going through my master's program, going through my classes, doing well in my classes. I landed a career. I was in the classroom. I got my teaching job, but outside of that, I wasn't really grounded. I wasn't really focused. I was allowing myself to be pulled in a lot of directions, and outside of my career, I didn't really focus on my needs versus my wants. So Tajir and I, we're two men on this program tonight. And while this may apply to both genders, we as men, and you might hear this a lot on the commentary as far as the podcast and the social media, but I wasted a lot of time and a lot of money, chasing women between the years of I guess around the time that I graduated from college. So, between the years of 2013, probably up to the time right before I met DJ the Money Coach around 2019, I allow myself to get distracted. I use that word. I allow myself to get distracted, from chasing women and not really having an intention, behind, dating and things of that nature. So I found myself, like I said, being in my career, having my own, but really, living check to check, but having a good time on the weekends, going out on dates, whining and dining and doing all of that.
Oh, yeah.
but like I said, living check to check, not having an emergency fund set up, not having any assets in place. So I really resonated with that, and uh, meeting DJ really helped me to get back on my square, for real, and get focus and get my foundation. And through that, it helped me to, discover my purpose, discover my intentions outside of my career as an educator. So I started to pursue projects, opportunities outside of that. Once I got focused and got into a program, got to know myself better, so I could really find out what I wanted out of life, and not allow myself to be ungrounded and allow myself to be pulled in all these different directions, like Tajir mentioned. So I just wanted to mention that before Tajir goes into the next gem on how you can be autonomous, totally autonomous, despite who's president, which party has the predominant number of seats in Congress or whatever it is. so, right. So Taj, yeah, go ahead and tell them, give them the next bullet point.
I got you, man. Yeah, man. You don't want to be one of those people in the barbershop or on the street having these spirited, heated debates, falling out about the brawl out over politics. It's not that serious. Like, it is, but if you got your life under control, you're not really pressed about what some random person's opinion is that you don't know. You'd be like, hey, man, you were entitled to your opinion and what you like. I wish you the best because I know I'm going to do the best. And Nick, I got to hit on that because I did the same thing. Man, if I could show y'all the receipts of all of the flights and trips that I spent on chasing women, bro, that's why I don't even talk about it, okay?
Right,
because
yeah.
a lot of time, a lot of money that I can't get back on things because I wasn't grounded, right? And fellas, that's the biggest thing, especially when you get a couple of dollars. You're gonna feel like I'm the big dog. It's Friday night. I just got paid. I do what I want to do. I don't have to answer to nobody. But what's gonna happen is you're gonna look at that account and look at that asset column and be like, this is pretty barren. I'm gonna need to do something different. And then you're gonna get mad because you're gonna be like, damn, all my money's gone. She sees the results of it. She got all these bags, all these trips, all the experiences that I provided for her, and I'm not even with her anymore. And she's moved on from me with somebody else with all of the benefits and stuff that I've given her. And now what am I sitting here? Got to rebuild my accounts and stuff all over again. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to do that. No. Okay? No. So, and speaking of that, spending the money, that gets us to the main point. The money management, financial literacy. And I'm not going to go too hard on you. I'm going to just start with the basics. An emergency fund. What does that mean? I have the bare minimum, but really I should have, so the bare minimum 3 months, but I should really have 12 months of my immediate living expenses saved in an account, right? And it's an emergency fund, not your savings, okay? Savings is something different. It's your emergency fund so that in case you become unemployed, in case something happens and you can't work or whatever the case is, your lifestyle will not change for 12 months because you got a dedicated fund to taking care of your lifestyle and things in case of an emergency. That's step number one. Y'all already know you can read any article and look up anything. The average American a few years ago didn't even have $1,000 in savings. $1,000. Why do you think that these buy now, pay later softwares are in such high demand? Everywhere I go, we take Klarna, we take Afterpay. They got cards, they have everything, and y'all are signing up for them left and right. Why? Because you don't have any money saved. You're spending all the money as soon as you get it, ordering stuff, buying experiences and things like that, and you're not taking care of your business, and you think, oh, okay, well, you're not talking about me because I have a $2,000 or $3,000 saved. Is that enough to take care of your expenses for 12 months? If it's not, you still got a lot of work to do. And then from there, you got to start building your actual savings. And what's your actual savings? That's you saving for large strategic purchases, right? Homes, cars, college, important things working in the background, right? That's what your savings is for, to have working in the background. So when you need to hop on something and get a deal done, or execute on an opportunity, you have that working for you, right? So that's first and foremost, having and building your emergency fund first, and then you can get the savings. But in the meantime, the dreaded B word, because everybody's like, oh, I don't know what to do with my money. You need a budget, okay? You need a budget, which means we just gonna keep it real simple and just basic. If you make $3,000 per month, you should only be spending. And when I say spend, I mean spending on things that you don't get anything back other than immediate gratification. You should not be spending no more than 500 to max 1,000, because a huge chunk of your income needs to go to building your emergency fund, your savings, and towards investing, right? So yeah, you don't need to be going out and going on trips. You don't need to be eating out. The other thing, y'all, we're going to do this. We're going to start pricing out our meals because we're going to the supermarket. We're going to go to the supermarket. We're going to buy all of our food and stuff. If you want to go out once or twice a month and celebrate with friends and family, that's more power to you. But cut the Uber Eats off, cut off the DoorDash, cut it all off. Don't order any more Chinese food. Stop all of it, because you don't realize, oh, it's $10 here, it's $15 there, $20 there. Then you realize that 1 week you spent $175 to $250 on food when if you went to the supermarket, you could have ate for the whole week for $50 to $60. But I know that's not sexy. I know you don't feel that you want to cook, and you're just so busy on social media and watching Netflix, you don't have time for anything, or you're trying to keep up with whoever you're trying to date right now. But listen, you have to get back and focus on these basic foundational things, because everybody wants to know how to get wealthy, how to get rich, how to have all of this. And then they're like, oh, I need to make $1 million. Nah, not at all. There are plenty of stories. People that I know. There's a gentleman who, I'm not going to say his name. He always talks about his grandmother who only never made more than $25,000 a year. But you have people making $100,000 a year coming to her to get loans. So guess what? Despite the fact that her job only paid her $25,000 a year, she always had great income and assets because she was lending out money at high interest rates, because she was able to manage her money. She was making sure, oh, okay, let me buy this food, let me buy these things to last me for a long time, to buy for longevity and not just immediate gratification, right? It's about being strategic about your purchases and getting on a real sense of your budget. And another thing is, we get into this phase of what it is that we want and not what we need. Oh, this is what I want. And then we justify it as, I work hard, I'm going to get what I want. Yeah, you're going to get what you want, and getting what you want is going to send you straight to hell. Okay? If you wanted that nice apartment, you wanted that nice car, but the number said you shouldn't have got that apartment or you shouldn't have got that car. So just here's a regular ratio for you. You could take this as you will. You should never be spending any more than 33% of your income on housing per month. I'm going to repeat that. You should never be spending more than 33% of your income on housing per month. And I know what y'all are going to say. I live in LA. I live in New York. I live in this city. I live in this city. That's not possible. It is, but you're not going to like it. Okay? You may have to stay at mom's house just a little bit longer. You may have to get a roommate. You may have to downgrade from a 2-bedroom to a 1-bedroom or a studio. Why? Because it's about being able to save that money so you can invest it later and have it go to things that are going to bring you prosperity in the future, and not just your immediate gratification. Because when you look at it, okay, I got my nice apartment, but what is the difference between January 1st and December 31st of that same year? Nothing. You still just got your nice apartment, but you don't have anything more other than debt racked up on your credit cards, right? All right. I need to fix my credit. I need to do this. Da, 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 da. You need to pay the bill. No, you don't have to pay the bill in full today. You need to put it on auto pay. And when you have discretionary income that you decided that doesn't need to go to anything else, pay the credit card bills so your credit score can increase and you can get access to more credit and you can use this credit to make you more money. Okay. And I'm only giving you guys a little bit because really I already know you need to be meeting with us to get your financials right in the All-Star program. But I'm giving you guys the bare basics because you have to understand none of these things matter when you have these things in place. The president, what's going on with this, what's going on in pop culture, entertainment, or whatever that stuff is. Because really, this is what is branded to you. The sensationalism of, oh, she said this at that's the debate. Oh, she checked him. She spilled the tea. Oh, she read him. Whatever they say. This is all to get you excited and to hit those emotions and to get you to be unfocused. Because whether Kamala called Trump this or Trump called her that, it doesn't affect your bottom line because they're both rich and will continue to be rich for the foreseeable future. And whether they win this race or not, your life is still going to be the one that is trying to be figured out while their generations have already been figured out. Trump's money is great for the next couple of generations. I'm sure Kamala is great for the next couple of generations as well. But we have to focus on yours. So make sure you're budgeting right. Make sure we build an emergency fund. Make sure we're saving. And we're going to get into some investments, right? You're going to make sure we strategically invest in and get into great profitable real estate properties and other investments based off of the kind of risk that you can handle. And again, these are things that we all go through all throughout the All-Star program, right? Where this is where we sit down with you and build these things out for you and show you how to do this correctly step by step and be able to, number one, manage your finances, get you on a proper schedule to pay off debt, and get you to increase your credit score, build up your emergency fund, and get into strategic investments that work for where you are at your income level and your lifestyle, right? Because another thing, everybody's looking to go buy a house. If you don't make a whole bunch of money, you probably don't need to go out and go take on a mortgage, right? Everybody's taking on 300 and 350, $400,000 mortgages. Yeah, no, you should probably be looking for a mobile home or a cheaper property less than $100,000 to get you in a game. And if you don't understand, we're just going to keep it simple. Monopoly. When you're a monopoly, did you go and immediately try to go buy New York Avenue? Nah, you said, let me start with Baltic, C Avenue, the cheap one, so I can get in the game. And I'm going to tell you this just like this, right? I'm the finance guy, right? This is what I went to school for. This is what I spent all my time studying. So I played Monopoly one time with my little cousins, my little sister. So first time I played, I thought I had all these strategies. I was like, I'm not buying the cheap properties. I'm just going to go buy the New York Avenues, the expensive ones. And guess what? My younger sister, who was just strategically buying cheap properties, she was like, hey, I got enough. Let me buy this. Let me buy that. Before I knew it, she had way more money than me and she owned way more property than me and she won the game. So I was like, how did this happen? My ego was bruised. So I said, all right. So we played the game again and I just borrowed a page out of my sister's book. As soon as I got a little money, I buy cheap, inexpensive assets that I can make at the minimal, just some cash flow for it. And I allowed that to build. And you already know what happened next. Of course, I won the game. Of course, we continued. And I haven't lost since, but shameless plug. And cash flow, when we all played cash flow, right? The team is all played cash flow. Nick wasn't there for that time, but it was a little difficult for me starting off. Then I was like, wait, doing too much, overthinking it. Let's take the little bit of money I do have, regardless of if I started off as a janitor in cash flow or I started off a doctor, and let me strategically buy some assets or properties that I can afford and build up the column as I go. And again, no L cents. But again, guys, shameless plug. So I'm saying this to say you have to buy assets at your level. And whether that's REITs or individual dividend stocks, we have to get started and get in the game and be strategic about what we're doing. Right? In the meantime. And we have to keep in mind and save for retirement, right? Optimizing all of your retirement accounts, maxing out all of your retirement accounts, putting as much money away as possible in these tax leverage accounts so you can invest, you can get into deals, you can do these things. So if you can't work anymore or when you're done working, you can still survive. In your insurance, making sure we're not riding around willy-nilly like, hey, nothing's going to happen to me until something happens and then damn, my income is stopped. my life is over. Making sure we have the proper insurances in place. And again, these are all the things that we go over with you when we sit down with you and have a consultation with you, because we're going to look at you up and down to figure out all the points where you can get better financially and walk you through a clear and concise plan to get that. And as you grow in your financial literacy level and your actual financial foundation, help you build and to get into strong deals so you can go from wherever class level you are at to middle to upper middle class and ultimately wealthy. And so this is why we're going over these things and making sure that you guys understand this, because when you got these things in place, it doesn't matter who the president is, what they said, if they disrespected your community, if they said they would do this or not, because you have your life working on autopilot. And with that being said, we got the man of the hour, the money coach himself, DJ. What's going on, DJ? We're here. We're talking about how to be totally autonomous. We talked to them about their hedgehog concept and having their skill set, having a master plan, and we're getting into personal finance right now and how that allows them to not worry about who the president of the U.S. is. So, DJ, say hello. And you do.
Happening? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, yep, we can
Yes,
hear
sir.
You can hear me? I have to apologize. I don't have on my regular gear. So I have to apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. But we out here and about taking care of some business, you know, and it happened. That's what we do, baby. So we're talking about finances and we're talking about accountability. Is that what I heard correctly, Nick?
Yeah, yep, definitely cover some accountability and finances and how to be, how to be presidential to yourself. I mean, we haven't used that phrasing yet during this show, but that's what it comes down to in this political season. About it not mattering who's in office, you gotta be the president of yourself and take control of your own destiny.
Exactly. So I'm sure y'all talked a little bit about that debate, correct?
Yeah, we mentioned it briefly at the opening.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, you have to be presidential inside your own house, and you have to run your home like a business, and that's starting at the local level. So the most important vote is the vote that you actually give at the local level, then to the national level. And if you run your house in that capacity like a business, you will about who sits in that White House, because that's really more of a figurehead scenario. And that's really for the global impact of the world versus your personal economy. And I think a lot of times we are bait and switched in regards to giving our vote to, organizations or parties when it doesn't really have a direct impact on your day-to-day, month-to-month living for your personal household. And we need to make sure that we understand that. And if we are sitting in the position of power as the president of our, economy, we never have to be concerned about the external economy on the larger landscape. So why is that important? Well, let's just put it this way. So I'm out and about, and to give you a great example. So I had an opportunity that came up literally in a millisecond to actually go out and meet with some investors, outside of my, state. And it was a last minute decision. But because I am the president of my operation and the CEO, I made a business decision that actually will be in the best regard for the macro of our overall operations here at DJ the Money Coach for our, community. So what does that mean? That means that I was not limited by somebody else's decisions, because it was a calculated risk that I got on a plane, scheduled a place to stay so I could go meet with some very significant players that have an opportunity to help us take our dream to the next level. And now if I'd had to get somebody's, opinion or somebody's approval to do that, which is what they're trying to tell you, they're going to do stuff for you, get what they never do, then I would have basically stayed at home. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? But since I didn't have to do that, I hopped on, the internet
got myself a ticket, and came out here to handle this business. And fortunately, it was a good decision because so far, so good. And that way, now when we are, 2 years down the road and we are achieving, significant, milestones, that will be predicated based off of me having the total economy of being the president of my own personal economy that made a decision that actually 24 months later turned out to be a super win for us. And so I don't need some politician, be it Republican, Democrat, Tea Party, telling me what the value of my vote is so they can go and get more power for their own, agenda. And most of the time that agenda has nothing to do with me or you. And you have to understand that. And a lot of times we ceremoniously and predictably give up our vote to these institutions all the time without nothing in return. So we have to stop doing that, ladies and gentlemen. That is the most important thing. So the first thing that you need to do is be the president of your own personal economy. And when you're the president of your own personal economy, you have to look at the big picture, but you also have to look at the micro. What is it that I need right now, today, in order for me to get to tomorrow? And when the opportunities come up for you, you can make higher quality decisions that may be all of a sudden last minute, but because you had a plan of an action to actually accomplish certain objectives, something that happens last minute is not necessarily, quick, turnaround, but because you had already placed the pieces on the game board, and when that piece showed up, they actually helped you take down, the queen on the other player's board, you execute immediately. And sometimes people say, these are rash decisions, but they're not, because if they were planned in advance and you knew you had to have a certain player or a certain piece or a certain vote, and you position yourself to make the environment conducive, then when that shows up, it seems like a quick decision, but that actually is something that you planned 24 months ago, 12 months ago, 6 months ago. And now the time is right. The environment is conducive. And now you have great success because you were able to make a rapid decision because you already had all the data, if that makes sense. So that's the good thing about being in position that you're in and having the personal freedom, having no debt, having command of your whole enterprise in this today's world. And right now we're in a pressure cooker situation where you literally have only a few days left, something I think it's about 50 days, 55 days to actually make this what will be perceived as a, monumental, election. It's not. It's the same thing every day, every time. What is going on in your household? What is your plan for 2025? Are you executing your plan for the remainder of the fourth quarter of 2024? And if you're not, how do I make adjustments to get on the right pathway? If that makes sense at the end of the day. So I just wanted to hop on real quickly. You guys are always doing a great job. And obviously, we get the show started at the same time all the time. But here's what I want to say to you guys too. So a couple of things that did transpire throughout the week in our community, and a couple of things that transpired were not good events. What do I mean? Here's the problem in our community. We have to stop being idolaters, meaning that praising idols in our community. Okay? What do I mean by that? You recently had a buffoon who has become very popular on this social platform and did something that was childish. I'm not going to name the person, but you know who I'm talking about. And as a man who has children, you should be appalled because your legacy. But however, this person is trying to turn what was a negative into a positive by selling products and services around a stupid act that teenagers do. And at the age that I am, because this person's the same age as I am, you should be appalled and embarrassed, and you should be discreet about minimizing the collateral damage because of your name. This person has a grandchild and has grown children, but is turn it into buffoonery to the highest level. But you, meaning the people that are watching this, you put these people in a high regard. And what's the connection here, DJ? The connection is those same people that are going for the president's, position for the United States of America, they've hired similar people to be on their platforms. What do I mean? There's no way that I could justifiably give my vote to somebody who's hiring entertainers to twerk on stage for them, but you want me to take you serious in terms of you running this country. There's no way I could take seriously, a guy who actually has a former, WWE actor who claims to be, this great, iconic good guy that we know ceremoniously is a racist. So I gave you examples on both sides of the party ledgers. So Democrats have done it, Republicans have done it. So ask yourself a question. What is it for you that they actually can do that actually benefits your house? And how does that tie into this buffoonery that I'm not going to name the person, but you know who I'm talking about? They had an interview with Cat Williams, and he said 2024 is the year of the truth will come out, right? But this person had the audacity that about a week ago to scold his co-partner about being late, which I would agree that you have to be professional. So I didn't show up, but my team already knew that. Correct, guys? Correct me if I'm wrong. So we didn't hold up the show because I'm out here conducting business, right?
Yep.
Now, what this person did, his partner was conducting business, but his partner was being bombarded by some fans who wanted his autograph, and it got him a little delayed. And the guy that was delivering him to the hotel, so he was about 5-10 minutes late. But the buffoon scolded him on the public platform, in the public court, on this platform that's got millions of people watching. He berates this guy in front of everybody. Think about the irony of it is that not even a week later, he does something even worse. And instead of his partner berating him and holding his hand to the fire, he gave him grace. And not only did he give him grace, but he also blew up the platform in the negative, man, because they want to show their machoism. Oh, I'm a man. Oh, yeah, I'm doing this, that, and other. But two things negatively happen there. One, you're denigrating another person because somebody's going to find out who that person was, and you're showing the problem in the community is this. What is the stereotype? Oh, you a Mandinka warrior. You're just a beast and a savage, and you're doing the same thing, but you're claiming you got so much prestige and professionalism about yourself. But you have no regard for that other person who is in that same situation that nobody knows, but they're going to find out who that person was. But you up here bragging at 56 that you accomplished all this. But we put this dude up on a pedestal when he's nothing but an athlete that has popularity. But what's the significance here, guys? This same guy was just at YEL's major conference as somebody to be applauded in business. This same person, they will put up on a pedestal to get you to vote for them. You see how I connected that together? But this same person, what I always say to our team, I said, if you lose money, you lost what? Nothing. If you lose a friend, you lost what?
Something.
You lose your name on the back of the jersey, what have you lost?
Everything.
Everything. So this buffoon is now not even being concerned about, hey man, your grandfather was just doing some stupid stuff. I'm going to jump on you because your grandfather is a buffoon. But your grandfather want to spend that and say, oh, I got this sponsor to give me this, to promote this. And then he's going to claim that, oh, he didn't set this up and create it. Yeah, you did. Because here's what I know. I don't care what technology you're using. I ain't never been able to stumble onto IG Live by accident. Come on now. But you sold your soul to the corporation when you were on the other platform, when the guy treated you like an insubordinate slave to him when he told you, put your glasses back on. Skip. But we didn't see a problem with that when he's wearing a do-rag and he got a blunt in his mouth and he got Hennessy or Cavassier. But that same person gets a super 7-figure contract. Then he gets his own platform, which, hey, man, kudos to you. But now you showed your real true self because you found yourself indirectly, directly, however, in a, situation. Instead of just discreetly letting it diffuse, you're going to put more gas on the fire so you can get more likes, more views, and you can talk about, oh man, I ain't going to do something to lose me $100-200 million. So you now become Ray J and Kim Kardashian of our community. But guess what? Next week or the next debate, they'll have you up on stage collecting the sheep's votes. Correct me if I'm wrong here, guys.
You're 100% correct. 100%. Everything. There's no way you accidentally slip and hit live. That's not possible.
Right. So you are a masturbator. Look at that. Did y'all catch that?
He needed to refresh his viewership. The views got a little low. He needed to refresh it really quick.
Exactly, man. But guess what? You're never going to see us do that, bro. Because that name on the back of the jersey, there you go. Exactly, Nick. Say that again, brother.
It's always morals over money for us.
Always.
Thank you very much. Always. Always. Guys, what do I always say? I don't care how many people watch our show. All I care about is that we produce high quality, moral, ethical, and great financial content for the community and the general landscape. Because be rest assured, guys, me and that guy the same age. Guess what? He might got a couple more zeros behind his name, but in terms of real wealth, he can't hold a candle to what we got. And think about it. He don't look better than me. He don't look younger than me. What's the reason why I say that? Because do you not think that I could go get the same type of contracts? Let's keep it a buck. But we're not going to do some of that stupid stuff. We're not going to do any of it. Because my children and your children are going to be able to walk down the street with dignity every time they hear our name. And all money ain't good money. So that's being a real president. That's having the right people around you. Because guess what? Your inner circle should have said, hey, man, it's unfortunate that whatever happened, stage or non-stage. But hey, man, let's let that fizzle out. But them people around you don't care about you because you're just a tool. Man, let's get that money, dog. Matter of fact, you are a dog. You a DOG. Go get that money, Fido. Because everybody in your inner circle that actually puts the deals and stuff together, they don't look like you.
Facts.
And all that, oh, I'm the boss? No, you're not. Because a real boss would have diffused that. But you know who's your boss? MONEY. GREED. All that tomfoolery always ends wrong. But we so in the entertainment world, What happens when communities constrict and they reduce because the economy is down? People live vicariously through entertainment and entertainers. So of course, you're going to spike up. You're going to think that you're having a great time. And not only going to be leading yourself, but I'll end you guys with this. It's not bad for you to go to hell. It's bad for you to meet your children in hell because they followed you. And remember, they're going to do what you do, not what you say. Now, I happen to be fortunate. I'm out with a high-end, high-character guy, and we're just talking about our children and how our children are doing such a great job of keeping their feet on the ground, meaning that our children didn't have the struggles that we had financially, and they're born on third base, but we let our children know the cost to get in the batter's box. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes,
we let
sir.
them know how much the cleats cost. We let them know how much the bat costs. We let them know how much the lessons cost. So when you are on third base and you score home, you don't take whole credit that you're the one that created all of that, that everybody there. So you keep a level head and you have humility and grace. And you're thankful and you're honorable instead of entitled. Because that's what you're seeing right now, unfortunately, in our community. You're seeing an entitled person acting like a buffoon because there's no course or recourse for your negative garbage, but you're trying to say you're an honorable person. You're not. And you literally, a week prior, you're scolding a person about professionalism. And here you are showing them, hey, man, this is how you make money, baby. And you want to justify, oh, man, I'm doing a regular act. Okay, cool. You're doing a regular act. Then if that's the case, then, hey, man, how about still keep it discreet as you possibly can and stop making up stuff? So I wasn't here to talk today, but we have to understand our community. And then I had another person say, hey, you know what? How is it that us are always ending at the bottom? And they were talking about, they saw a documentary about Atlanta with Maynard Jackson and how he said, we're going to own portions of these business contracts. And then the people who were helped building Atlanta back in the 70s, they said, well, you guys don't fly planes. You don't know how to make planes. He said, okay, I'll give you that because we got to have the best of the best. We said, okay, but you know what? We know how to pave streets. We know how to build roads. We'll get all those contracts. And thus created a boom, B-O-O-N, for us. But then they said, well, how could we have done that, but we still don't run everything? Well, here's the reason why. You have inferiority on the brain. Even when you have the numbers, you still give away your power to the other guy. What do I mean? Guess what? In the banking world, they don't look at this. They look at this, ROI. So if I have everybody looks like me, I have all the resources, and I need to get a significant contract for government that I'm qualified for, I don't need somebody else to look like the other guy to represent me because the leverage is in, I got the ace and the joker. And I don't need a surrogate. So when we built the roads and we started empowering business to come to the Mecca, all we had to do is say, hey, man, we want these terms from the banks because the banks want an ROI. I don't need anybody else. So guess what? Instead of Atlanta being the #1 apex of best in equity and ownership for us, it's not. It's going the same route as DC. It's the same thing over in Zanzibar. They're giving away their resources to the other guy, and I give it the equation to this. We all own homes. It would be like, Nick, I came in your home and I said, hey, man, I'm taking all your stuff and I'm selling it back to you. Now you are the slave to me and you allow me to do it. You become a reverse sharecropper. Instead of you saying, hey, man, get up off my porch. But that's what we do. So when we have the numbers collectively and we know a loan or investment capital is all that is, I stand on the leverage and strength of what I bring to the table, and I don't defer it to somebody else and then let them make me renters out of my own property. That's being presidential. So ask yourself a question. When you're watching our show, are you being presidential in everything you do? Or are you a handler or being handled by somebody else? And what connecting back to Maynard Jackson is this: check the fruit on the tree. What do we mean by that? If you belong to an organization and you are the official, gatekeeper for that organization, and all the stuff that it looks like you're doing good for us, and it doesn't turn out long-term to be great, is because you were already a double agent. Y'all catch that on the way home. When we know in our community, we were better off doing segregation than integration. Because when it was segregated, we had to create everything. We had to create the schools, the banks, the libraries, everything. And then what happened, Nick and Tajir? We prospered. And then when we prospered and the mediocrity of the other guy, they were like, wow, man, we can't let this continue. So let's break it up. i.e., let's blow up Black Wall Street. Presidential. I have to make a decision. Am I looking for the short-term gain, or am I playing the long-term game? If I'm playing the long-term game, there's going to be some sacrifices amongst the way where it may be looking as if we're losing, but we're winning. Just like Robert Kiyosaki says in Rich Dad Poor Dad, if I'm building a pipeline to the ocean to provide the village with water, but my homeboy, he's got buckets while I'm building a pipeline, he's winning temporarily because he's making money right away. But I'm building a massive pipeline. And by the time that massive pipeline is due and complete, like we're doing right now in Zanzibar, 2 years, 3 years later, the bucket guy is out of business. But we're bucket builders. We're not pipeline builders because we've been duped to two things. One, we are less. And two, since we're less, we got to have it instantaneously, baby. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? And how's that tie in to being presidential? Because you sit in your household, you have to have the ability to make tough decisions in tough times that are going to be generational returns, not instantaneously, fast food returns. Think about that. So that's the reason why last minute I get a call. Hey, man, we want to see you, but we know you ain't going to be able to come out here and see us. Really? Okay. Tell me the time and place. I'm there. I already had plans. Matter of fact, the protege, he was coming to my town to conduct business. We already take care of the ticket, the itinerary. We had things laid out, but this opportunity was bigger to take care of what we was doing with him. So I said, hey, man, I got to hop on this plane, baby. And I told protege, if it don't go good, I'm going to be back on the plane today. But it's going good. It's not going great, but it's going good. That's being presidential. See, 9 out of 10 of you would have stayed with, the plans that you had, and you would have got the instantaneous return, and you wouldn't get the long-term return. So with that said, hopefully I tuned into what you guys were saying before I got on here, because like minds think alike. And at the end of the day, hey, don't let people tell you what you heard and what you saw from that debate. That's another thing. You guys can't not be sheep. Why do they have commentators when I heard and saw with my own eyes who won that debate to me? I don't need your interpretation of it. Your interpretation is to get me to get on the page that you want me to be on. Think about it. Facts. Did either one of them say anything profoundly concrete about what they're going to do for America? They did not. Think about this. When they directly asked the person, and this is the second time publicly, are you black? They just discarded the conversation. But all of us are leaning into the first black woman president. Now I know what you haters gonna say right now. Oh man, you against black? No. If I'm proud to be black, why am I gonna not say it on any platform? Oh, you know why? Because if I say it now, I gotta have an agenda to serve the black people. But when that bill came across the table for the, the immigration of the Indian, that bill got signed. When the bill came across the table for, hate crimes against Asians, that bill got signed. Imagine the coincidence there. Think about that. We talk about reparations. Me and my buddy had a great conversation. He said, man, where you stand on reparations? I said, for me personally, reparations to me is access to opportunity. What do I mean? Free education for everybody lineage that was affected by slavery, Jim Crow. That can give back some of the losses that we had, because if I no longer got to pay for education from zero to my PhD, guess what? I just got a leveraging opportunity. I don't want to give you money because guess what I know about you as a consumer? You're going to take that money and give it right back to the other guy. But if I give you access to education and access to opportunity that has nothing to do with money, that all you got to do is sign a document and give me access to it, I can win because I create a skill and I create a conducive environment for me to be the best that I can be to earn money the right way. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? But guess what? The first time, hey, aren't you a black woman? Next question. And everybody applauded that. See how smart she and smooth. You at the debate and they thought it was going to make something out of it. It was like, oh, well, Trump, you said that you never knew she was black until just recently. And then they tried to put him on point. But he was like, I don't care what race she is. But guess what? She want to be post-racial. But she want the street cred for you sheep to vote for her. Because right there, if somebody say, hey, you know what? I'm a businessman first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen. And I happen to be a black man, proud to be black, unapologetically. But I don't go out and say, hey, man, give me business because I'm black. I say, give me business because I'm the best at what I do. And by the way, if it happens to become a topic of discussion, I'm not going to run from it. I'm a black businessman. I'm a black father. At the end of the day, I'm just a businessman who happens to be black and proud of my, culture and the positive aspect. I'm not going to shy away from it because guess what? When you ask me what I'm going to do for the people, I got a plan. That's being presidential. Well, what's your plan, DJ? Well, you know what? I build schools. I build clinics. I build irrigation systems. I build developments to actually give people housing, but I give jobs, baby. Check the resume. And I build those in the communities that look like me, no different than the other guy, because that's what you're supposed to do. And then when I make sure my community is solid, then I help everybody else. But I got a plan. But when you pose it to that person who's getting the credible support, they have nothing to say but ski-wee. But it's amazing, before I was ski-wee, I was 100% Asian. And I don't have a problem with that. But all of a sudden, ski-wee. Oh, let me show him. See, here's the saying. Everybody loves black, but they don't want to be black. You'll catch that on the way home. It's just like when you babysit your friends' kids and you don't have kids. It's cool to have a kid for a minute, but I don't want to take care of the kid 24/7, 365. But when I want to prop up and pretend like I got a kid, or I go back to my movie I love, Boomerang. So when Marcus, he wanted to get the girl, he goes out in the park, he sees the fine girl with the dog, he go pay the couple some money for the leash to their dog so he can pretend like he got a dog. So for the moment, he's got something in common with her. Hey, Kirby, Oh, you got a dog too? Yeah. So I want to be a dog lover for a minute so I can get the train. I want to be black for a minute, ski wig, so I can get in office. I'm just saying. Because if you really got a plan, you would have laid out your plan. Hey, here's what we're going to do in this community that's black. We're going to get the early community education development program for people who are disenfranchised. Once we get them, and we're going to hold them accountability, they have to do certain things. Once they do certain things, they're going to show up on time. They're going to go through these programs. Then we're going to open up other programs to get them to higher learning. We're going to finance that higher learning. Then when we get the higher learning, we're going to show them how to do internships. Then when we show them how to do internships, we're going to show them how to network inside of the internship to get a better way of life. Was that hard? And we're going to do that specifically for you. It's just like minority small business certifications. Here's what everybody knows that are in the business of business. Those programs were exclusively designed for us. No different than when the Japanese were put in internment camps here in America. And once the government felt guilty about it, what did they do? They gave them compensation. We got assigned to us minority business entrepreneurship enterprises. And it was supposed to be, see, here's where we fell for the okie doke. It shouldn't have said minority. It should have just said black enterprise. So only black people could get those certified government. But since they put the M, guess what? The white woman has been identified as a minority. You know that ain't true. You're not a minority. So more than 54% of all minority business enterprises are run by white women, which are turned over to white men. So, or just like your boys show, The Apprentice, when the first brother, Dr. Randall Pinkett, who we know personally and have interviewed twice, when he won The Apprentice and he blew everybody off the table, the orange man, he said, hey man, how about we have in the first time history of the show, we have co-winners. And my man, Dr. Randall said, I don't recall the show being called The Apprentice. It's called The Apprentice. And so, no, I will not be co-winning with no ordinary white woman. So right there, Trump showed his cards. So right there, that shows you I'm not a Trump supporter. But I will say this. When the rubber meets the road, who gave more money to HBCUs? Got to call a spade, baby. What's the other candidate's record? See, here's the thing. If you vote, you should vote on their record, not on their rhetoric, not on their campaign slogans. Make America great again. Okay, show me what your vote was in areas that pertain to my community. Kamala, show me what your vote is in areas that pertain to my community. But you have these pundits, the super educated. Here's what you got to be concerned about, ladies and gentlemen. Anytime some super educated person that looks like you start telling you all this reason why you should be voting for a particular person, you ought to check out their alliances and follow the money, baby. Check out their alliances and follow the money. Because if I go look at the record and you have imprisoned people that look like me, and when you had a chance to give them exoneration and you doubled down and said, give them double more time to build prisons and stuff, then I got to say, that's who you are. When you had a chance to not go after parents over tardy in the school system in the state that you were the attorney general, and you doubled down and put those parents in jail over their child not getting to school because their parent was sick and they had given the documentation, and you doubled down and put them in jail. I'm just looking at your record, baby. And y'all probably say, well, what's that got to do with being president? Well, that is presidential, because if you are really a president in your own home, you're going to look at the facts not the rhetoric. You're not going to let somebody convince you. What you will say, hey, man, show me the white papers, and don't put the name of the candidates on top. Just put the profile and their results of their votes where it's important, and then just let me put down the X where I'm going to vote at, and then we'll see. And then you can show them just like they would do the Pepsi Coca-Cola challenge. They blindfold you, or they don't tell you the name of it, and then you end up picking the opposite of what you thought you believed in. Because you will get back to the facts of your character, and like Nick said, morals over money. So what I encourage you to do, if they have another debate, and if they don't, who cares? But what you should do, go get their voting record, which is public information, and then place your vote upon that. And here's how you should vote. You should vote based on your God, your family, your business, and that's it. And whomever lines up in accordance with that, that's where you should check that box. But before you do that nationally, check that box locally. And before you do that, check that box in your own house for your personal finances and be the president of your business, which the number one business you're in is your personal economy. And then line yourself up and don't get caught up in the rhetoric of people's BS, or don't let them compel you to make you feel bad. Here's another great thing. When people talk about, hey, get out and vote, ask them, do you want me to vote for your party, or do you really want me just to vote? And when they ask you, are you going to vote? You just tell them, hey, you know what? I'm probably not voting for who you voting for. Are you good with that? You still want me to place my vote? And then see what their reactions are. They'll really tell you how they really feel about you. Because if we all want everybody to vote, which we should, does it matter who you vote for? Or does it matter if we get more people show up so we don't have smaller numbers so the wrong person gets voted in? And what you also should know, it ain't the popular vote, it's the electoral vote that matters. And how does that get determined? That gets determined locally and statewide. Correct me if I'm wrong here, guys.
You got it, DJ.
Because if not, why do they have the DNC and the RNC? Because they have every state in attendance, and they say, we, from the state of Hawaii, we give our delegates to so-and-so. Do they not say that? They don't say, we give our popular vote to so-and-so. They say, we give our electoral delegates to so-and-so. And if you get one vote more, you get all the electoral votes. And that's not a republic. That's a democracy, ladies and gentlemen. So the moral of the story is, don't allow yourself to be convinced, swayed by propaganda, by rhetoric, and don't be lazy. Go do your own research and act presidential in your actions and not in your words. And remember, have morals over money. And remember this, the pom-pom lifestyle movement can't be stopped because we own everything that we show and tell you about. It's called equity and ownership. Equity and justice. There's no such thing as fair. Fair is where pigs get slaughtered and you win games. There's nothing fair about the world. It's about equity and ownership and equality. So, with that said, I'm going to turn it back over to my top two main men, to the amazing Nick Westbrooks, who is the glue to everything that we do, and to the protege, who actually is the president of our Zanzibar Corporation. Without these two guys and the rest of our team, the amazing Kadera, the amazing Financially Free D, the amazing Gerald Corporate Sponsorships, the amazing Isaiah, the amazing Angela, the amazing Keith, none of this would be possible. And what our team knows, if I ever find myself in some type of, precarious situation, I'm not going to be broadcasting and try to flip it over and make money out of it. Because we have, you know, dignity, we have ethics, we have morals, and we have character. And stop talking about high quality and high value. That ain't what God is interested in. God is interested in high character, high moral, high dignified people, not high value. So you're watching Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach on set, or what they call it when I'm not at the regular place, on site. I forget what remote. Oh, coming to you remotely from an undisclosed place. And you know, man, we don't, we just keeping it
A
buck,
little
baby.
bit. A little bit.
You know, just a little bit. You know, man, we don't do the VRBOs and the Airbnbs and all that stuff, baby. We have people out there that get down with us, that when we got to make that back call, the phone gets answered. So it's not what you know, it's who you know and who knows you. But most importantly, who knows you from high character, high morals, and high principles. That's all it boils down to, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? We're not in the, high volume business. We're in the high quality business. So I turn it over to you guys. I'm out of here. I'm going to go finish up what I was doing. And if you are interested in what we do unapologetically, I'm sure my guys already ran the spots. But if you want to be really presidential and you want to have equity and ownership of something that's legendary and be part of a narrative that's going to be good for generations to come, guess what? You ought to check out our opportunity on Saturday. If you want to have a bucket list trip, you ought to check out our amazing resort, condominiums, and townhouses. And you can do that. Escape to Zanzibar. And if you want to have some equity and ownership and stuff, then you ought to get in touch with us, and we'll show you how you too can have ownership in once in a lifetime scenario, because we are the Black Wall Street. And ain't nothing burning us down, ain't nothing blowing us up. And before you know it, we're going to run a lot of stuff, and we're going to be calling all the shots, because we pay the cost to be the boss, and that's presidential. I'm DJ the Money Coach. I endorse this message.
I love it.
Oh man, I love it.
All right, DJ.
What you want to tell us? Because there ain't really too much to say after that. Nick, you want to close us out? It's really not too much else to say.
Oh yeah,
you came in, dropped the game, you dropped the mic. So I did a lot of talking before. I'm gonna let you close us out as you always eloquently do. The master wordsmith, the man himself. So the floor is yours, my brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I mean, as always, man, fire, powerful show. And like DJ has often said on this program, he's gonna tell you what you need to know, what you need to hear, and not what you want to know, and not what you want to hear, which he just did. And normally he asks you for permission, but we don't need to ask for your permission anymore. We just go ahead and tell you what you need to hear, especially in the times that we living in. We're going to unapologetically, without permission, tell you what you need to hear. And then we could just give a quick recap, a summary of what you need to hear. It's morals over money, like we said, and it's not selling yourself, selling your soul. It's not allowing others to dictate your destiny. It's not wasting your energy and your sanity uh, arguing and debating over something that's out of your control. Control what you can control, and that's by starting with the man and woman in the mirror, starting what you can control in your own household, and doing what you can do regardless of what is happening externally. That's what it's all about, you know. And I've said that several times on this program. Always got to go back to the foundation and focus on what you can control. And if you can't control it, you can't do anything about it, then don't worry about it. Like one of my teachers said, don't sweat the small stuff. And it's all small stuff. So yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. You know, Tajay, I know you came with this show topic, this show title. I know you had you came with the bullet points of how the people out there can be totally autonomous despite who's president. You know, so if you run through those bullet points again, real quick of what you shared, summary of those bullet points of how people can be totally autonomous, and then we'll take it on home.
I got you, man. So, yeah, we're going to start from the top. So, again, first and foremost, you're going to get your skill set that you can do the best that's going to make you a livable income. Okay. And then we're going to set up what your plan is so you can be presidential over your life. What is your plan for how you're going to operate your life? And what is your plan for how your family is going to operate your lives? Because at the end of the day, it's all about family. 2, 3, we're going to manage our income correctly, and we're going to build emergency funds, and we're going to save and get under strong budgets so that we can strategically invest and have the proper insurances so we're set up for our retirements so we can live financially free. And with all of those things, we go ahead and break the need to be super concerned with whatever's going on in the presidential race that's decided by the electoral college anyway. So again, why even be super concerned with it? So those are the main points. And then DJ came and brought it home. You already heard what he said. So I'm going to tell y'all that like that. Listen to the message, receive it, and take action. We're all watching content 24/7, but turn the content off and live your actual real life. Because when the show's over, when the season's off and all that, you still got to look in the mirror, wake up, and walk outside and go through your same life you had before you put the program on. So don't just be entertained and be educated. Actually go out and implement. So that's it. In the words of DJ, we are leaders and shepherds at all times. We've been proud, high character, high moral black men all day, every day. So, where's the DJ? Ski week. We out of here, man.
Yeah, man. And all of that entertainment is fake anyway. Anything outside of the reality you're living in, it's probably not real anyway. It's all an illusion. But yes, but as always, we appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. You have been in tune to the sights and the sounds of Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach, the DJ the Money Coach team, as expressed, brought to you by, of course, yours truly, Nick Westbrooks, Tajir Green, and DJ the Money Coach. Like we said at the beginning, if you appreciate and love what you heard, like, share, and subscribe. If you know people that need to get this message, share it with them, share the video with them, so we can grow this movement, man. But even if you don't join us on the movement, we still can't be stopped.
Exactly.
Yes. Yep. But Be well. Enjoy your beach. Your beach doesn't have to be Zanzibar. Your beach doesn't even have to have sand and water. Your beach is wherever you find your peace, your mental tranquility, your absence of chaos and confusion, like I learned from the lessons. And that is your beach. Live it, enjoy it every single day, every single hour, year round. Enjoy your beach. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next edition, the next episode of Family Finance Fridays. Peace.
It's official. We're in business, guys.
All right.
Here's where we do it at, baby. Cooperative economics. What's happening, everybody? This is DJ the Money Coach coming to you live January 17th, 2024. And history has already been recorded. That's right. We just opened up a 220-unit luxury residential resort in Zanzibar. We also are completing 4 luxury townhouses in Zanzibar. And we're also going to open up the Pom Pom Lifestyle Resort in Zanzibar. It's Africans for Africans, supported by Black Americans unapologetically. So what time is it? The Pom Pom Lifestyle Movement can't be stopped. Hit the link. Join us on the Beaches World in Zanzibar. Home is ours. Peace.
Some of the best things that I like about Zanzibar was being on the land, seeing the emerald water.
Got to see the island, connect with the people, do exclusive luxury experiences that you'll only get on the island of Zanzibar.
The beach, fresh food, the people. I mean, I could write a short book about what I experienced here.
Eating the best fruit, vegetables, seafood.
Met some amazing people. We had an amazing time.
I like the tours that we went on, the Spice Island and Paradise Island.
The snorkeling. That was an exclusive experience. Huge sandbar. That was set up like our private dining area. The sand is soft, the water warm.
Unadulterated, pure, simple.
So the opportunity in Zanzibar is very, 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 very clear. There is nothing but economical growth and development happening right now.
Zanzibar, just because it's an up and coming area.
Get here and you see the opportunity.
And then you come on the African side, you get to see even a different type of togetherness.
Being able to ask questions, and DJ was just like, hey, ask me anything.
Plenty of money and peace of mind. Zanzibar all day.